Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, happy Friday to you. Good morning. Hopefully it's another beautiful day, which I'm sure it will be. So let's wait for a couple people to join on in with us, and of course, we'll get this morning started. Good morning, Chuck. How you doing? Interesting. That's kind of interesting. All right, good morning, guys. Good morning. Great writing. Great writing. All right, so good morning. One of the first ones that just kind of piqued my interest here was this BOXL box light. So in the past, this stock has, I know in the past it's made some pretty good moves, I do have to say. So let's do some analysis. All right, we're going to delete everything here and just kind of redo it. Though there's not a ton on there right now, we are going to make sure we kind of redo this one. And I only want to do this really quickly before we talk about the market because it could have some momentum that otherwise we could miss. So right now on the half-year chart, you have resistance / support at 250. On the daily chart, you have resistance / support right about 257. Potential long targets for now, I would assume, can be as high as 297 to 310. We have a shift point or a half deviation level. Well, it's not really a shift point, but anyways, 274. All right, almost done here, folks. Almost done. All right. So this is our little McPenny. I'm actually going to change the color of these as well. And then these are supposed to be... Oh no, those are supposed to be the mean. Excuse me, I did that wrong. Okay, that goes like that. Goes like that. And that's supposed to be yellow. Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. So yeah, currently this is kind of the way the BOXL situation is. So earnings up into the statistical mean, slightly over, hit a half deviation to the 1 deviation mark, pulled back, still trading below the mean. So ideally today, this is going to be your breakout level on BOXL. Again, if it's gonna move, gonna be a breakout, this is the level that it's gonna happen at. This 252 to 258. From there, it would probably pop up into the 274 price, which would be pretty much the pre-market high. And clearing through the pre-market high is going to put you at a price of $2.97 to $3.06 today. If all that happens, then we'll debate whether or not it could go higher than like the $3 area. But for right now, with the way the market's situated, I don't think on the long play it really makes sense to target for anything more than the $2.97 price for now. Of course, if that happens and everything's looking good, then maybe we could suggest more. But for now, all said and done, I don't see anything more than that $3 price right now, or I wouldn't really be trying to trade up past the $3 price right now. And then again, in order for that to happen, you have to break out of the zone of 258-ish, okay? But I wanted to make sure I covered that one because kind of had an appeal, so I didn't want to not go over it and then it start running and whatnot. Nice, Lax Pop. Very nice. CLNE? Yeah, I can look at, I will look at CLNE. Give me a second here. I'll do it really quickly. before we hop into a couple other things. So yesterday it moved up. I have a red line right at about 838. Not sure why it's there, but it stopped just at about that red line I have on the chart. So again, I don't know if I have a level there. I don't remember what I last said about CLNE, and I don't remember when I last actually went over it, but it is... I really don't remember. I could have said it was going to bounce back to one deviation. I had a level there, but anyways, so CLNE rolled down. It was looking bearish the other day. Anyways, so it bounced back up. You will see that we have gone from below the -1 deviation mark. We have now bounced back up over the 9-day moving average. We are now trending up and onto the +1 deviation mark. So nonetheless, you're kind of on resistance. That's why it stopped around this price point probably yesterday. So I would assume before you can suggest that CLNE is really back on the bull side, you're going to have to get up and past and stay above $8.31. So pretty much looking for CLNE to reclaim the price of the -1 deviation mark. That's what you're looking for. So in a nutshell, it's really not a bad swing long price still, just because it appears like it's trying to hold down here. So what I would watch specifically is to see if you can manage to get over that 830 price, kind of sustain, and if you can create like a bull flag around there, then you could be looking at a new long move. So that would be my outlook, having to stay over the 830s for now. Of course, we will always cover AMD. I would appreciate if you guys could take just a second, go over and massage the like button. It's pretty sore from yesterday because it got beat up, so today it needs a little bit more tender, loving care. So give it a little massage. Let me write down a couple of these tickers here, obviously. AMC is always discussed. AMD, volatility recently means it's pretty much always discussed. We haven't seen RKT in a while. It's kind of interesting. LC, INFI. Already massaged it. Very nice. Appreciate that. Too bad. Already smashed. Nice. Okay, so got a couple down there. All right, before we get going too heavily, we're going to pop on over here to the SPY, which ended up having another good day. Now, yesterday we recommended that you wanted to be the long, or the support of the market was going to be right around these two red lines. Well, it ended up breaking that briefly for a bit, coming back up and then going. So our recommended dip buy price was off by a little bit. Nonetheless, the market did sell down to that zone slightly through and then went on a tear. All right, so nonetheless, big day from the market again. That's awesome. We are slightly above the mean. You can see that we have trended away from the mean. It's been a long time since I've seen markets do that and try to keep going and successfully keep going. So part of me does feel we are right around the corner from a correction in the market. We'll see if that comes true, but again, it's pretty much never see markets do this and then really run. They usually kind of either stay ho-hum, pull back, or sooner than later fall into a correction. So I feel we are around the corner from something like that. So nonetheless, still riding the markets long, but I think, like I said, we're going to be coming into sort of a correction now. Something else that kind of leads me to believe that is the SPY is kind of cranking. It looks more bullish. It's on more of a running move, you could say. And then you have the NASDAQ, which is still kind of lagging and actually slightly pulling down. So we're getting sort of opposing arguments from, I don't want to say opposing arguments, but you can see how that's coming to fruition. The NASDAQ is sort of lagging that move of the SPY, and a lot of times they move pretty close in unison. So nonetheless, there's kind of opposing arguments going there on those two markets. BOXL is almost up to that 257, 258 price, which is the breakout price for that stock today. And really the momentum on BOXL so far this morning is just the company reported. better than expected earnings. Hassan, I am closer to 28, but still 27. All right, so BOXL, if it ends up shaping up, this will definitely be a candidate for today. And now we will cover the ones and things that basically I always kind of finalize on a list of stocks that I like to look at more towards the open, if I don't already have my eyes set on something, which I kind of already do. But anyways, so we will kind of take a peek at and put more emphasis on the stocks that I'll be watching throughout the day as we get a little closer to market open. So for the time being, we will now hop into a couple subscriber requests, first of which being AM McSizzle. All right, so AM McSizzle, believe it or not, ended up almost going to the price, it almost went there. If you remember from yesterday, we said that the market on AMC, in the event it goes on a long day, we could see it pop all the way back up to about those two red lines. It almost got there. So it kind of did a move I was thinking we could do. But the main important thing of yesterday's analysis of that long recommendation was it's just a counter trend long back to the red lines. Bulls only take back momentum of that market when the price is up and over. At the time yesterday, it was like 34.28, 34.50. Now today, the bulls don't really take back control of this market on AMC. And when I say take back control, they could already be taking back control behind the scenes, and we don't really know for sure. But nonetheless, once they're successfully clearing, in this instance now, a price of 34.76 to 34.76 to $36, they haven't really taken back control on the market. There's an attempt going on right now, sure, but again, they still got to get up pretty much through $36 now to really basically force a new big pop in the market. If anybody, AMC, Matt Kors, trades, anybody, me, you, your mom, your grandma, wants a big pop there, we're not going to get it until we successfully go through about $36 right now. So it's pretty straightforward. If you're looking for a big pop or magoo in AMC, it's going to have to happen through 36. So until we get there, it's just a counter trend bounce back to those levels for the time being. So let me take a look at, I don't remember all the price action that happened yesterday. So we went through a pop, then we went through a drop, then we ran all the way up. Now we pulled back, but I don't have any levels there. That was just previous price action then, huh? Yeah, part of me kind of thinks that this market's still going to try to bounce long. I just don't get the feeling it wants to quite break down just yet. Part of the reason is if you look at the daily chart too, obviously we bottomed here, try to go higher. This was a first attempt counter trend bounce at break. Remember when I said just a second ago you'd have to get through 36 for it to be like a big move? Well, this bounce back up to that trend line. That was the first attempt of AMC trying to take back control of levels to be bullish again, and it failed. So it came back down. So far, it's double bottomed, and it's retraced back up to a couple levels, trying to take back control, but still not quite further enough on the upside. So this is like a second attempt of AMC taking back control on this bottom. So it kind of has a better chance than it did, maybe the first time. So still analysis is the same. Over 36 is good. I don't have any deviation support for the day on AMC, so I will say that right now the downside target / support to hold to continue the long move is basically $32. So right here, I believe, you see how the market's kind of trending down. We're below the intraday 150 moving average. So right now we are on a downtrend intraday. I believe support could exist on the market on AMC around $31.98 to $32. All right, now we're going to pop on over to AMD. Still, don't forget to keep an eye on BOXL. It is on one of my screens here. No trade, no nothing like that, but it's still sitting in that same price zone from earlier that we discussed. So, still some potential there. AMD, yesterday, we mentioned we're still kind of bearish this stock. Yesterday, I wasn't really positive exactly how it was going to move, and usually I can get a pretty good idea of how things are going to move, but that's generally when, I don't want to say generally with volatility, but usually I have an okay understanding of how things are generally going to shape up for the day. But yesterday, AMD, I really couldn't wrap my head around it, so wasn't able to give such a spot-on approach to it. But for today, it does look slightly more bearish. But what you're doing right now is you're not coming from an extremely overbought price where the market's probably just going to thin out and drop out. Now you've kind of dropped down to a level where people are like, man, maybe I could buy here. Other people are like, man, maybe I should still short. So you're kind of getting that sideways consolidation, which is always a little bit harder to judge what it's going to do, which way it's going to snap. Excuse me. So nonetheless, I'm still probably bearish on this a little bit, looking for this to continue creeping downwards. So I'm going to delete my old drawings and give new updated targets here and just kind of give everything. So we didn't actually touch this level, okay? It looks like it did, but the level has come to price. So this is what I always talk about when I go, hey, the price targets this, or it's either the deviation catches the price. So we kind of wanted AMD to go to -2 or +2, which is this green line. But when it fell down, it bounced slightly before. And then since it's traded sideways, it gave the trend time to catch up. So right now, this is kind of the support level of the market, 104.09. And you only really get another good leg down on AMD if you were to break that level. So for now, really what I'm watching is for AMC to be bearish. AMC just in general, price will need to stay below $108.22. In the event the market does break down, as I'm kind of thinking it can on AMD, I think it should be a target back down to the price of 104.13 for right now. Now, if you can break 104.13, a bigger gain is going to happen, but for now, that seems like a logical target down, 104.13. Now, this is on the 4-hour chart. If we look at the daily chart, you can see that it's pretty much the same. You can see we have a half deviation price where the 4-hour chart was, and we still have the +2 deviation chart on the daily chart where the 4-hour chart was. So, nonetheless, got to stay below these half deviation prices for the market to stay down. If it doesn't, this is a level where the shorts will probably pop themselves back up to a price of 112. Okay, so still watching AMD slightly on the bear side. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not really hider. It's just not something we can run through. It takes too long to do that every morning. And if I were, I could do it quick, but then you're getting a kind of half-assed approach to it. So, best bet really just taking some time to go back through some of the older videos I've done on it. Hey man, so I always watch YouTube tons of podcasts, no issues, but I'll be on yours and it totally just exits the entire thing. Then I gotta reopen YouTube and get back to your video. Very, very odd. Yeah, that doesn't typically happen to me. That's odd, but... So my mindset, my advice, yeah, for the most part, is really geared towards intraday price action movement of stocks. For the most part. Of course, there's other things that we discuss randomly throughout the stream. We've discussed business things before, but for the most part, it is geared towards intraday trading and or swing trading for the most part. In probably next week, there is going to be also a mix of long-term investing into it as well. So some things are going to change a little bit. Mr. Montero, you said tail being short squeezed to fill the gap. All right, gonna pop on over here to the next line of business, which is RKT. We will talk on, we'll talk about Wish in a second here. So RKT earnings up, then down. So if you look at the 4-hour chart, you'll notice that the market squeezed up to the long-term mean today, right at the price of 1917, sold down. Support for right now in RKT is about $17.84 to $17.72. So here we go. So yeah, the known resistance now on the day is going to be up here. The support for the dip buy is probably going to be here. So again, I think everyone knows where the resistance is because obviously, right? But I don't think people quite know where the support's at. Support zone very well could be right here. So I think this is your first area where you'll look to be long the market on RKT today, which again is 1780 to 1770. Now, so that you can understand why I'm saying that, ideally, if we look at the 4-hour chart, okay, look at where the consolidation breakout was. So we go up here, we'll draw our own little trend lines, and I should actually do something. One second. I'm going to change this to a thicker trend line as my default, so it's just a little more obvious. Oh, why isn't it? Oh, I didn't save the default. But I'm going to actually change that to 4. Make it even bigger. So you can see kind of where that breakout happened, right? Up, side, 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 and then the market broke up. So you could draw your own flag pattern across those tops to get a breakout, or you could watch the statistical deviation system to know that that's kind of where the trend line's at, and that's where the breakout is. Now, the breakout moves from this dotted line / this white line up to that white line or these two red lines, which pretty much just means it broke out and went from point A to point B. And now it's pulled back from here all the way back to that level. And the trend lines that I think you would dip buy off of exist at 1780 to 1770. So ideally this is a flag sort of situation on earnings. It broke out, hit up to the deviation resistance, and then it pulled back, and now it's almost at the half deviation support. So again, for right now, this is probably an area where you consider being more long bias as opposed to bearish for the first time as the market gets there. Okay. Next one on the list is LC. Take a peek at this. So LC, all right, so your breakout play happened there, then it shifted through the mean, went from the mean to the +1 deviation mark, then it pulled back to the +1, bounced, and now it's almost up to +2, and it does have somewhat of a slight bearish divergence occurring. So nonetheless, I would start to be slightly more bearish this, only because your right at about the +2 mark. So, the best way I can explain this within the current market structure, not that it's really overbought, but again, this is where you would start to consider the market's overbought. This is where you would start to consider that the market is kind of overbought. So we can put that in we'll just do pink. All right, and now, this is where the market's kind of, this is maybe normal area. So we can do that. All right. In here is pretty much fair value-ish. So neutral, white, again, yellow, excuse me, just drawing all these colors for fun at this point. And then you can do this one's more down there, and you do big red. Now, obviously, that's not the most perfect color combination code, but again, you're kind of in the overbought level. Pink really isn't the color for it because it makes it look like it's overbought, but nonetheless, this is a slightly overbought level. This is the very overbought. So within trend, your market is starting to get into an area where high-frequency trading computer machines and things are probably going to start deleveraging a little bit of that position, I would imagine. So nonetheless, I think you can still stay on the long side a bit, but you're getting into bearish zones. My resistance for right now on LC. 1 second, actually. No, nothing too crazy. Oh, that's odd. Why would you do that? Yeah, sure. Just an FYI, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to use our free scanners over at our other YouTube channel. Just posted a link in the chat room for the 267 of you guys in here. You can use free trade ideas and Benzinga scanners by going to the channel that I just posted in the description below. Now, with that being said, you do have a half deviation price point here on the stock LC, which comes into play at $28.44. Then you have a +2 deviation mark that comes into play at $30.81. So ideally, I think 30.81 is going to be your resistance, and well, let me rephrase that. This is your resistance zone for right now, 30.70 to 32, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to mention there. Yeah, Mr. Montero, you can feel free to send me an email today. I know you might have sent me one just a couple days ago. I haven't had the time to get through that email, but that was one of my objectives, obviously, today and going into the weekend. The next thing I'm going to talk about is Wish, because Wish is always just a popular one, and because yesterday, I think the analysis, or it was 2 days before their earnings, we mentioned that we didn't really think it was going to break up. We thought the market was going to break down and it was going to target to this level. So ideally, just the other day, we said resistance here, market's probably not going to break up, and they might use earnings to break the stock down to the price target of $6.91. So pretty much, I woke up this morning and went, holy shit, it actually went all the way to $7, as we mentioned 2 days ago. So pretty crazy. Not like I traded into it. I never really trade into earnings or anything like that. But nonetheless, the market on Wish has broken down. So everybody buying this dip, buying this bottom, looking for that flag to break up without an understanding of the standard deviation trend would have had no idea that they could at least break the market from here to here. So in a nutshell, Wish has entered into more of a buying location, so to speak, because it's fallen all the way from here down to its long-term trend mean. So as long as the market on Wish is staying above pretty much this price, it's kind of more on the long, but don't think I would be long bias the stock today. In terms of pricing, yeah, you might be long bias. In terms of formation and instant gratification and making money right away, probably not going to happen. So I think you could be neutral to a little bearish on the day before being bullish. And before we get a bounce on Wish, it's probably going to take a couple days. So anyways, that's really all I have for you. But I do believe the important, significant level to watch today and for the days going forward, at least for now, is going to be that long-term mean, which for now is 686. That will change as the days go on. And don't give up regarding the swing. No, I'm not really crazy about the swing there. Yes, BOXL first last boxable is considered a penny stock. Yes. SESN did have a big day from yesterday. It definitely did. Slightly coming off resistance this morning. I'll have to come back to that one. Okay, I'm going to finish up these first couple requests here, which is INFI and the stock TAL. I don't expect a big breaking out move from this. I could be wrong, but I don't expect a big breaking out move. You're right at the mean, so by buying it now, whether or not it does or doesn't break up or down, you'd be taking ownership of the stock at pretty much a fair value price. You're not getting a deal. You're not buying it really overbought. You're pretty much taking fair value ownership of the stock at this price of about $3, I would say. Let me just double check. Yeah, anywhere from $3 to $3.64. Stock is still kind of on sale a bit. So, yeah, until it really gets up to $3.64, arguably, it's still on sale a little bit. So, you missed a really good dip buy opportunity here, obviously, as the market fell into the -2 deviation mark. We bounced back up over +1. We're on our way to the mean. We're at the 4-hour mean. So right now, I guess, on the upside, I guess, max target for me would be 366. Once you can clear all this resistance at 366, then the target would be up to 462. So for first, got to get to 362, then you go to 462. Yep. All right, last thing we're going to take a look at here really quickly of this list, TAL. TL sold all the way on 525. Question is long-term gap fill. I mean, yeah, long-term. A lot of this could very well turn into one of those penny stocks, 3 years down the line that pops up and fills that gap up to $18. Do I want to sit there and bank on that and wait on that myself? Not really. So yeah, I mean, there is a gap fill. There's a big one, but just because of the gap to fill doesn't mean it's happening anytime soon, and so on and so forth. So for now, I would just probably not do anything with TAL myself. Mitch Coin, thanks, man. I appreciate that. No problem. U.S. import prices month over month for July, 0.3 versus a 0.6 estimate. Prior was 1. That's good. If you own S&P 500, you might want to consider replacing it with this better performing dividend stock fund from MarketWatch this morning. That's interesting. What do they have to say? I'll have to read that a little bit later. That could be interesting. The Mexico Central Bank sets a benchmark interest rate at 4.5%, up 0.25%. So they raised interest rates in Mexico. Tsunami warning system says there's a tsunami warning following earthquake of a 7.0 magnitude. Sandwich Islands region? I wonder if they have good sandwiches there. In the South Atlantic Ocean. Mrna reports new study showing its COVID-19 vaccine maintains antibodies against variants of concern from 6 to 6 months. What? That really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Let me read this again. So, Mrna reports a new study showing its COVID-19 vaccine maintains antibodies against variants of concern to 6 months. Okay, that makes more sense when I read it more fluently. Okay, so that's one thing I did want to take a peek at today was mRNA, which we have yet to really look at. So mRNA is bouncing a little bit more this morning. It's still right at about its 9-day moving average. So it's slightly below its 9-day moving average right now. Kind of looks halfway decent right now. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was wanting to see it down closer to 350. We'll see if that happens. But today with Mrna, or even the next couple days, the objective would obviously be to be getting through the 9-day moving average, which is right at about 404, and getting above that previous trading day's session high from yesterday. In the event we can do that, then mRNA has the potential to bounce all the way back up to the price of 433-ish to 433. So yeah, on a legitimate up/breakout of the previous trading day session, we can see mRNA squeeze back up to prices of 431.35. So if I wanted to be bearish mRNA still, like I wanted to bet down, then I would look to be bearish at the price of 431.35, or if we were coming back down and breaking through this consolidation, targeting to the +1 deviation mark. So until we're either breaking down this low and targeting the next deviation down, or until we have come off trending resistance, there's really no point of being too short bias, I think, at this moment, because you already got a 100-point drop from the other day, which we did suggest. So for now, I think kind of upside target for me could be around 430. Don't really want to be short unless it's off 430 or unless it's breaking down below the half deviations here and the price point targeting this mark. So for the time being, slightly on the long side of mRNA in this counter trend bounce. And that's what it is, folks, at least for now. For now, it should be treated as a counter trend long bounce. Yeah, figures. That's annoying. 1 second. You have to change that literally every day. That would be very annoying. The stock LGVN appears to be maybe moving. Never mind, that was from earlier. My apologies. All right, sorry about that. Was just making sure I covered my bases there. I mean, yeah, I could take a peek at YVR. I mean, of course, I'll continue looking at some things here. YVR. June Ja, yeah, we do give 101 classes, but it's not quite online yet, or having some bug issues, but that's actually doesn't matter, it'll be online soon. But yes, we do. Should be coming very soon. Was having some issues getting it online to our website. Had to fix that, but nonetheless, we are moving that direction, yes. So there's our first YouTube glitch today. A spike to 500 people watching live, and then right back down to 300. So that sucks. Really wish we were allowed to have those viewers on our channel. That would be awesome. You're new to our YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to hit the notification bell, the subscribe button, and once you've done all that, just make sure that you you YouTube our name every day, because you most likely won't get notified even if you hit the notification bell. So just make sure you basically tune into YouTube and search our YouTube channel manually, because otherwise the likelihood you get notified that we're live is pretty much non-existent. I mean, if you're going to want to trade full-time, you pretty much have to have over 25K, so to speak. Not really. I mean, you could trade full-time and do options, right? But yeah, I mean, ideally, if you're going to be full-time and that means trading actively, then you have to have an account that's going to allow you to trade actively, which could be an account of 25 plus, so you don't have the PDT rule. Or you need to open a futures account so that you can just actively trade futures all the time with no PDT rule. Or you have to trade options in a way, or you'd have to swing trade all the time, which really means that you're not a full-time trader, so to speak. So it depends on what you categorize as full-time. If full-time is you sitting behind the computer screen and making multiple trades, and you have to have an account of 25,000, you're going to have to do you're going to have to do futures trading for at least right now. There's also an options trading strategy that you can do that allows you to basically maneuver yourself around the PDT rule while trading every single day of the week. So even if you have a $1,000 account, you can really trade options every single day of the week without going over the PDT rule. I could explain that briefly if you guys are interested. I won't be able to really cover it in too much detail, but enough that you'll be like, oh, that makes sense. I can do that. Oh, Mr. Custom. Yeah, so that's really frustrating. Yeah, I know. Like I said, the theys out there. Yeah, so all right, in a nutshell, so you can avoid the PDT rule every single day by buying options. I will explain with an options chain here. So let's bring up our handy McDandy Weeble here. So if we go to the options chain on Weeble, 1 second. Is it even? Oh, sorry, there we go. I mean, we could do Apple. So if we look at Apple, sorry, I'm kind of brain farting because I don't want to be confusing, so I'm trying to think. Okay, so basically, if I buy an option today, we're not even going to think about expiration. We're just going to keep this really simple because I don't want to confuse people. So in a nutshell, if I were under the pattern day trading rule, or I only had a $5,000 account, but I wanted to trade every single day, it's more of you opening up trades on the day and then locking that trade for the day and holding it overnight to prevent yourself from using a day trade, if that makes sense. So really the objective is you would wake up, you would pick an investment, you would make that investment, and then obviously if you sold that investment that same day, that counts as a day trade. There's a way to not sell the investment and to still lock in your loss or your gain and roll it to the next day and avoid using a day trade. So what I mean by that is if today we bought Apple, and let's just say we bought right now the price is 148. Let's just say we bought a $150 call. Let's say it goes to 150 and we make $200, whatever. So 150 call goes up to 150 and we make $200. We either sell it, lock our profit, use a day trade, or we hold it overnight, make it a swing trade, but also run the risk of it going down overnight and then losing the money. So you could buy a call, make your $200 on Apple and go, you know what, I want to lock this gain in, but I don't want to sell it totally, because if I sell it totally, then I'm going to use a day trade. So then what you can do is you can buy a put, which it's been a long time since I've done this, so I hope I don't say this incorrectly, and if I do, I apologize. I'll have to get the correct information before, but you buy the same exact put on the opposite side. So if it's a 150 strike, you would then buy probably a one. Let me look at this real quick. Where are we at? So if I were to buy the 150 call and it goes into the money, then I would be looking at pretty much it's the opposing put. So I'd be looking at selling the 150, or sorry, buying a 150 put, so that way the gain on the call is locked in and you buy a put. So now if the market goes up, you're going to make more money on your call. And if the market goes up, you're going to lose money on your put. But if the market goes down overnight, you're going to lose money on your call and you're going to make that money back on your put. So ideally what you're doing is you're buying a call, making money, then you're buying a put to lock in the gain of your previous trade and then hold them overnight. You'll lose a little bit of money due to the overnight decay on your options, but that's a way to allow yourself to continue trading the next day without even having reached a day trade. So it's like taking a day trade first, creating a gain, and then making it a straddle play to hold overnight, so that way you avoid using a day trade. But the straddle play ends up locking in your gain, so you're pretty much secured on the upside and the downside overnight. So the whole purpose of really doing that is you're under PDT, you don't want to use a day trade, you've made a gain in the market, you want to secure it without using a day trade. So it's not that you're trying to necessarily use that strategy, but if you find yourself under PDT with a lower account, you take an options trade and it's a good gain, and you find that, oh man, I've already used 2 of my day trades this week, or I'm on my 3rd day trade, and if I use another 4th, then I'm gonna get my account locked. Oh, well, let me buy a put and I'll straddle the price overnight and I'll avoid taking a day trade and I'll secure most of the gain that I've so far accumulated. So it's an option. It's a approach, shall I say. So that's something you can do. It's not something I do because I don't need to do that specifically, but it is definitely something that you can do. Oh, stock SPRT started moving as I was explaining to you guys that little scenario. Just to know, it seems yeah, and so now, but again, YD, sell a call, absolutely. So really what YD is saying here is a better approach. You can use a cash, well, you didn't say cash account, maybe you did, but nonetheless, what he's saying is correct. And someone else saying using a cash account's the way to go is the way to go. But again, if you have a cash account, then obviously you're not under the PDT rule, which means you don't even have to concern yourself with that. So this is really for people who are on the PDT and so on and so forth. Locking in the gain is done by selling a call. Then I might have it wrong. Again, it's a strategy I know Brandon taught me a while ago, so I could be wrong on that, about whether it's purchasing a put and straddling. Potatoes, yeah, selling a call is slightly getting into the more advanced portion of options. So if you don't know what a sell a call is, That'd be a discussion we don't want to open right now. Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna bring this down. No need for, but again, like I said, in a couple days, this should be an open running account here. So, anyways, SPRT, as I just said a second ago, was and or is on the move. I feel like we just talked about this yesterday. I really know. Yeah, I don't remember when the last time we talked. It was recent, though. It was definitely recent. I think we said the breakout level, obviously, was these two red lines. Once you went to the two red lines, it doesn't matter. So anyways, SPRT, if you're looking at this morning, it's on resistance. So if you look at my screen, 4-hour chart, you'll see this green diagonal line. That's where we're coming into right now. That's why the market is kind of seeing some hesitation and pulling back in this area. Nonetheless, it still does kind of look strong. So I would probably stay on the long side of SPRT overall for right now. Max price targets on the day for me would be as high as 1080 to 940, which we're already at. Oh, I didn't really realize that before. Yeah, max target for the day would still be 1090, but we are definitely in an area of resistance right now. Pre-market. I would not be surprised if this ends up being the top of the market pre-market for SPRT, because this is a legitimate resistance zone. Patrick, yeah, so Webull will be used in the videos and in our streams more frequently going forward, more specifically as soon as my money gets deposited. I printed off the sheet yesterday, never filled it out, but anyways, I printed it off and now I'm going to send it in. But I'm just transferring money from place to place right now. So, you know, it's a good question. I've been thinking about it. There's really, with the way that the account's going to be set up, there's really no need to throw in a ton of money really quickly. And if I could explain, is a lot of what that account's going to do is it's going to track growth of pretty much the entire market along with a couple foreign ETFs. So basically, it's going to be invested in foreign markets, emerging markets, United States, a couple dividend things. So what it's going to be, what that portfolio is going to do is basically going to get growth of our market, foreign markets, emerging markets, some dividend markets, things like that, which at the end of the day really just means it's just invested in the entire stock market, which means if the entire stock market goes down, it's going to go down. And if you look at where the entire stock market is right now, it's kind of high. We're not really on sale in a correction. We're just riding trend. So it doesn't really make sense for me to take a bunch of money, just throw it all in the account right now, knowing that we could very well go through a correction here in the next 5 weeks, and it would be a better time to buy it then than it would now. So probably just kind of start it with a little bit of money, and then we'll just keep adding, and then when the market goes through a dip, we'll just add more, and then we'll just add more, and then we'll just add more. But it would be kind of dumb just to take your hold load and just dump it right now as the market's kind of on its high moves as opposed to a correction. So we'll start it with a little bit, and then as things keep progressing, we're going to keep adding to it. But it's going to end up being a bigger account for sure. But there's no point in just dumping it all in when you can get an on-sale price here in the future, I would assume. So yeah, we're going to be using it, and the account's going to obviously build over the years that we use it and stream with it and so on. Well, I guess I kind of do need that. 1 second. All right, guys, give me 1 sec. Looks like SPRT broke that resistance point a little bit. Did pull back, but it sure enough broke through. A farmer never plants if he waits for perfection. You're absolutely right. That's why the farmer plants his seeds and then continues to keep planting. That's about right, I would say. I mean, I don't, well, basically, if the market were to follow what it's been doing, I mean, it would correct. Yeah, 5-6% maybe. Well, I guess I was off by a little bit. Yeah, maybe 4 or 5% would be sort of the corrective move there in the market. If it follows what it's been doing. Yeah, if it follows what it's been doing. 1 second. That might have been wrong. Hold on. Yeah, 3-4% maybe. Nice, okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. Okay. Cody, there is no coupon code right now specifically, but we were intending on doing a sale in the near future, but as of right now, no. All right, so SPRT, again, broke out of kind of the longer-term resistance marks, and now it's swinging up, just hit $10.03. As we were mentioning earlier, kind of had a max price target up to, I think it was 1030 or so, 1080, 1090. Yeah, so I kind of deleted some old material in there, Sean, that was really probably not needed. So there is some spots that kind of have to be readjusted. You're not wrong, and you are right. Yes. That's funny. Mr. Montero, yes, we did go over Wish 100%. You know, let's take a peek back at BOXL. Wonder if anything ended up. It's still kind of sitting there, hanging out. All right, give me 1 second, folks. I'll be right back. Oh, nice move from Mick SPRT. Oh, no, that's not what we want to do. Target could be about as high as 11 now. Let's see. You know what? Something else we should look at is XELA. Did it end up holding, or is it... Yeah, still trying. Not really, though. Yeah, SPRT is also on SSR, so, or not short, so restriction, but can't short it. No shares to short there. Oh, excuse me. So right now, Mrna is pretty much back up on resistance. All right, gonna take a second to run through some of these plays. VERO. I mean, this has some potential, maybe. Oh, man. Already getting the yawns. They're coming. I can feel them. Oh, CODX. That's kind of an interesting move. There's XELA squeezing off 294 there. So that means someone who's bearish or short's getting caught off guard on XELA. It's not terrible. Yeah, CODX might be looking to make it back up to prices of like 11, 12 today. So that might be sort of a lower price stock that moves pretty well. Have the bots been messing with your channel again today? Yeah, they do every day. You know, I can't say for sure. It's just... I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's just really odd when we get a spike up of like 1,000 viewers and it goes back to 300. It's just really odd. What are you asking about? You asked about EBET? EBET for me is kind of at resistance right now, so I'd be slightly more bearish on that stock. All right, Ignacio, I'll accept. BOXL is still kind of hanging out below that 255 mark. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Does not look all that bad. I really hope that ends up being a play for the day. I hope we do get a true breakout there today. That would be nice. Just an update. I didn't get a video out yesterday on the whole Turo thing. Just got real busy. Had to run to my rental property in Ann Arbor, which I had to run to again today. So just kind of ended up getting a little busy. But I did get a little further in my research on that. And so what I've come to the conclusion of, and this was only research on at least one vehicle I was thinking of, so numbers could be different on other ones, but nonetheless, it would appear that after, it would take like 5 years, you'd have to have a vehicle maybe for around the 5-year mark for it to really make sense. And at that point, you would generate anywhere from like a 14 to an 18% return on your money annually invested over 5 years. So it's not bad. It is a good return, but it does take effort. So as long as it's passive enough to the point where the management doesn't become worth it, then it makes sense to actually do it. And this is taking into consideration insurance, Turo's cut, how much you should make, depreciation year over year. The only thing I actually forgot to calculate into that number was annual taxes paid to Mr. Sam, which could probably reduce it by 1%. But nonetheless, Mr. Sam isn't really going to get all that much money after the depreciation schedule on the vehicles anyways. So I did do some pretty good analysis yesterday, but it came out to anywhere from like a 14 to an 18% return on your money over annually. And after having investments for 5 years on it, it seems like it makes sense. And or higher than that, longer than that too. Sure. Yeah, you're in Boston? Yeah, if you come in, for sure, just send me an email. Should have my email linked down below or on my YouTube channel. So appreciate you guys tuning in this morning. For right now, it appears that the watch list is going to be a BOXL for right now. So far, it hasn't broken out. We'll see if it ends up breaking out. That's obviously going to be one of the mains. Obviously, we could keep an eye on SRPT, or SPRT, sorry. Yeah, we could keep an eye on this, but I'm pretty sure it's already done most of its move. I think it was trying to move up close to that $11 price. So, nonetheless, I think most of the SPRT move has already happened. It's going to be a little bit more challenging on people here. XELA, yes, this is something that we are still watching. This level here at 294 was the support that had to break for the short move to work. So this morning, short sellers are squeezing themselves out because it didn't fully break down right away. So it's still kind of the same thing. We're watching to see if this bottom ends up holding and we move back up and clear the +1 deviation. So when we're clearing the +1 deviation mark, that's probably where we're going to be, or emphasizing XELA a little bit more. You made money yesterday on BTBT. Very nice. PBTS, this was the stock from yesterday that we took a long on. Don't think I'm going to do a whole lot with that for right now. Haven't seen that in a long time. Neo broke down. I don't have Neo on support yet, I don't think. So I think you could probably still stay a little bearish on Neo. Yeah, I think Neo's trying to go down towards, gosh, $39.79. Yeah, I should go back over SESN. That was something I wrote down a while ago. So SESN, I think the stock is more bullish. All right, so we pulled back. I think you're going to want to be long bias this stock today. I was waiting for it to kind of get back to like a bullish move. So I do think SESN is on the long with maybe a price target up to 630. If 630 happens today, that would be, it's possible. 630 can happen today on this. So, I mean, so we had a U shape that broke out. Let me check the 10-day chart. Yeah, I think you can be more long bias on this. The only thing you do have to be mindful of or paying attention to is SESN has pushed up to the +1 deviation marks, which are at 520 to 540. So if you look at the 1 minute chart, you will see we kind of got to this area, briefly went through, and then we sold down. Now we're up, trying to get through. So for me, to really be long bias this, you got to make sure that SESN stays above or is kind of trading and holding the price zone of 520 to 532. That's most likely where the consolidation, the support hold would happen to force a new move up or continue moving the market up. But I do think you can be long SESN today and just in general. The stock, BOXL, is not trading through the price zone we need, still kind of struggling. No, never had one trader investment that's netted dramatic life-changing profits. Nope. I've had big wins, but I mean, not really life-changing. No. KM, very nice. Have a great day. Glad that worked out for you. SPCE. I rolled over and broke down, right? Sorry, it's a late night. A friend invited me out to his birthday, her birthday. So me and my fiance drove 45 minutes last night to her birthday, and didn't really get home until the AM. So definitely feeling a little sluggish. So yesterday, I think we went over SPC yesterday, basically saying market down to like here. So you want to start considering a dip buy in SPC, I think. The question is, does it get down to 23.39 to 23? Wait, or is it just 23? I see. Yeah, so we're kind of close to the dip buy, I think, or at least a level the market's going to try to bounce. I don't like the way that it came from this top and sold down. To me, that's really bearish. So I'm not positive of the bounce here. Usually I would be like, oh yeah, let's buy the bounce. But with the formation that it's coming from, it does make me slightly nervous. Nonetheless, I don't think you should be bearish as SPCE gets into the price of... I don't think you should be bearish as SPCE gets in the price of 23.30. I think you should be watching the market long there. So, yep, that's that. Yeah, I don't ever really get rested. Never. Nope, I wake up Monday mornings, work Tuesday, work Wednesday, work all way, and then, I think I take a break, but I usually just never really take a break. There's always something that has to be done. So, never really truly feel rested, to be completely honest. I used to go walking in the morning. Oh, no, I didn't used to. Sorry, no. We just generally wake up and just kind of work so early that I don't go on a walk. But usually lunchtime's when I get out and go on a walk. So you can see here that SESN, kind of slammed down there, and now the candle's back into that trading zone. So, this is like a buyer attempt to keep the markets within that zone to keep it bullish. BOXL just kind of started creeping a little bit towards more of the breakout pricing. Man. Could totally use a coffee right now, but I'm too lazy to go make it, so. You got spanked on SoFi. Can I get direction? No, I mean, I agree. I do think if you take time to rest, you are more productive, 100%. I mean, I definitely have my days, right? I definitely have my days when I ain't going to do anything, right? But then it's just like, it's just back to the rat race anyways. You just never seem caught up. There was something I was about to say. I guess it doesn't really matter. Sander. Today is Friday. It's going to take you a couple years, Michael. That's pretty much was my curve. And really just a couple years before you're even going to probably understand markets fluent. And even then, there's so much that goes on in the market, you're not going to understand everything. But you should really expect your learning curve is going to be a couple years probably. All right, let me take a peek at MU. I know somebody said something about MU way earlier that I never looked at. Sold off yesterday, then it did a bounce. Oh, wow, MU. Yeah, yeah, I should probably add some to a swing long on that. They are getting just absolutely shit on recently. But yeah, yesterday's low price was kind of a decent area to consider a swing long entry. We came down to the 4-hour +2 deviation, but that down move's pretty bearish. So yeah, I do think there's like a counter trend long that's probably about to happen with MU that you could be long on. So I actually kind of think I might buy a little bit of MU today for a swing trade. It's not bad, but it's just the formation that it came from previously. But you can't let past price action deter you from taking future action. Pistons fans, not really. No, I'm not really a big basketball guy. It's just really not my sport. I mean, it's all right. I only really like to watch playoffs. I wouldn't say August is necessarily the slowest month of the year. I just think, I just categorize summer as being generally slower in the market. Sean, no, I don't intraday day trade stocks if it's such a small range. I just do avoid them. I still cover them and talk about price targets are going to go to and things, but generally if the range isn't that big, I usually don't put my money on it. So like that's like with XELA. I'm like, yeah, I like XELA. It's got potential, but it's only potential when it gets to the +1, because once it gets to the +1 and breaks out, then it can go for a full deviation move, and a full deviation move on XELA is like $1, I think, or something like that. That's kind of what I'm waiting for, because the range is so small that it really you can really only justify trading this when it's breaking out. So, if we get the +1 deviation breakout, then the market will go from 339 to about 418ish. So there's going to be like a 60 to like an 80, 90 cent range there that is profit potential, as opposed to what we're doing right now. It's just going back and forth like 10, 20 cents or whatever. Again, BOXL is the only penny stock we're really watching long, aside from SESN. And then there's SPRT, which is already overbought, so that carries some significant risk to it. But yeah, So those are the three: SPRT, BOXL, SESN, and then anything that comes up throughout the day. Yeah, B. So if I could honestly tell you, we're watching BOXL right now. BOXL doesn't have like the immediate formation and movement that makes me think it's going to be a great play for right now. So BOXL is the one we're watching, but still kind of sitting back on. The other one is SESN, which very optimistic about, but a couple things need to shape up before that's okay. And then there might be SPRT might continue running up on the day, but it's already kind of overbought, so kind of need to let that cool off. And then there might be some other ones that I'm just unaware of that end up having a really good day. And if that happens, we'll do our best to look at them, analyze them, and give accurate price targets for them. So the course really wouldn't teach long trading. Or when you say, well, like if you're talking about like long investing, no, it doesn't teach that specifically. Realistically for long invest, I mean, pick the S&P 500, you'll make a good gain, or just pick any of your favorite companies you know of or trust, you'll probably make a good gain, or just stick with very low beta stocks that have had dividend increases for a long time over the past 10, 15 years, and you'll probably do just fine. But when the stock market crashes, you're going to lose, I'm going to lose, we're all going to lose. So again, in regards to long-term investing during a big market crash, everyone's going to end up losing money. So in that regard, there is no full safe environment from the market. Long-term investing still comes with the inherent risk of losing, but nonetheless. But yeah, no, it's not specifically taught in there, no. Made 100 on SPRT. Very good. Very good. Any tips on how to get out of bag holding a stock? I mean, you sell it. That's pretty much it. Or you just wait and wait and wait. That's your only option. What type of investment do you do? I do a lot of long-term investing, swing trading, and day trading. But primarily my whole life is investing. YouTube, I do investing. Aside from that, I do a lot of 401k, Roth IRA, and then individual account investing. And then trying to start up a new business, which is investing. And then I also invest in real estate properties. So pretty much I'm just an investor at heart is all it is. And day trading is day trading, technical analysis, all the stuff you're seeing here on the screen is what I've become most popular for because of a social media, YouTube presence for that matter. I started, actually my first account only had a couple $100 in it when I first started trading. So I started way back and when with just little dollars. Just little doll hairs. All right, so SPRT selling down. Didn't quite get to 1090, got to 1070-ish, 1069, so off by 21 cents there. I'm going to pop up and put this stock BOXL on because it is kind of what I'm watching, but I don't like the way that this stair step down and we haven't been able to get back through these white lines. Does make me slightly nervous. Video stream shouldn't be blurry. You just got to make sure that you're viewing in 1080p, so probably an issue on your end. Again, GMA watch list for the day for me right now is BOXL, SPRT, SESN, AMD, NEO, Mrna, things of that nature. Not things of that nature, that's what it is. And whatever else comes along that I don't already know about. Yes, I have blown up accounts more in the sense of not to zero, but just having to redeposit money to continue investing and trading and learning. So never like a full, just like wiped everything out of my account. But yeah, to the point where, well, it looks like we're going to be putting some more money in this guy. So yeah, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to anybody that really tries to day trade or do any sort of very speculative investing. It's going to happen. Unless you're really lucky. All right, we got about 3 minutes to go. I'm actually going to pop to the B room real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, let's see how this open shapes up, folks. All right, folks, we got 1 minute till the market open. No, didn't talk about BTBT. Haven't even really seen it this morning, to be completely honest. Yesterday, we recommended a dip buy long on BTBT at $13. So went a little below 13 to 12.89, ended up bouncing, and so yesterday's long recommendation was BTBT at about 13 bucks. So today it's up. I think, yeah, you got to look for a support hold on BTBT at 14.96 and maybe a target up to 16.24. There goes Neo kind of snapping a little bit down just before the bell. All right, Mrna kind of starting its day a little bit downwards. Still watching this BOXL. BTBT moving pretty well there. I think BTPT's got a little more room up. Again, maybe to 1650-ish area. So have a little long on BTBT. Closing as it's getting up to 15.9, not closing, but selling a little bit along the way up. It's 15.95, 16s. Stock PVG also hit the scanner there, or is on the scanner. Again, max, I don't want to say max target, but a target that was kind of going for there on BTBT is up to 1640-ish, 1650. We're at 1598, so thinking maybe another like 50 cents up from that. BOXL still struggling. Neo, we'll see if that leads to a new down move. Dang, PVG for the rip, bud. Oh my gosh, Thinkorswim. Let's get it together, bud. Neo's looking slightly bearish there. See if we get that breakdown. BTBT stopped at 610 so far. That might make it up a little more. This PVG is still holding pretty well. Let me think about PVG here a little more. Sad. It is easy to borrow. Figures. Okay. PVG might move down towards like 940s. I'm going to take a small short onto PVG, see if it gets down into the 940 price point. Target 948, 950 or so, hopefully. Neo's still kind of Neo's still like barely holding that bottom, it seems. I wonder, like I was saying, I wonder if this Neo ends up getting weakness and falling below yesterday's trading session. So, you know, I mean, we just got a decent down move from PVG. Not quite to the 940, only got to 957 so far. Oh, yeah, let me, again, there's only so many screens I can watch at one time. Oh, what's this? CVV? Kind of interesting. Oh yeah, SESN. It sure enough, it freaking moved. Yeah, I mean, we might have to continue watching SESN there, just in general. By the way, I'll give PVG all the way up to prices of 1067 to 1058 as well. Looks like Neo's going to try to break down there in that low. We'll see. You can see it's right at the regression trend here at 4168. If we can get below that in the previous low, should snap pretty hard. There goes Neo down a little bit more. PVG, they might try to pop a short squeeze out of that. We'll see. I was thinking, again, it's possible PVG jumps all the way into the 1068 prices. Now, if it does do that, I'll just end up being back to bearish again on it. Oh, sorry. NAOV. Let me take a peek. It did. NAOV held that level. Yeah, I think NAOV is going to try to keep moving there. Watching the wrong stock. I mean, yeah, wrong stock, right stock. As long as stocks go how you want them to go, there's really no right to wrong. But yeah, let's take a look at Hood, see what happened. It was the one stock I really just never ended up peeking at today. Yeah, that did make a pretty good move so far, didn't it? Yeah, so it's doing a 1 deviation bounce today on the 4 hour. I think that still has some room to go. BOXL. NAOV is still kind of struggling that top. Yeah, so BOXL spiked right back into the resistance zone, so until it really clears up and above, you know, the 258 price, it's still, for the most part, in resistance. Neo's still sliding down. NAOV held a pretty decent dip there. It's all kind of depending on like this setup right here. Yeah, it looks like NAOV is going to get taken down today. Yeah, it's not sustaining over that +4 mark. So yeah, we're still keeping an eye on BOXL. It's got to get up through that 260s marks, 260 mark ideally. Wish fell down to its long-term statistical mean, so right now there's really not a ton to do with that. Yeah, Hood's kind of overbought on the intraday right now, so sort of a high risk level to consider being long. Still keeping an eye on BOXL. Hasn't really done what we needed to do. It's got to be up through these prices. Ooh, BTBT hits a high of 1620, then it pulls back very, very harsh. So that's kind of no fun. Neo's getting absolutely destroyed this morning. As we mentioned, probably bearish Neo. Again, Neo, I think, like I said, is trying to go down to the target of 40 bucks. So if Neo goes down towards 40 today, 40 is probably the dip buy price for Neo. SPRT just came across the scanner a second ago. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, kind of does look like SPRT might give you another jump, does it not? Dip by price BTBT 1480. Excuse me. Maybe. That PVG is starting to roll down a little bit more, not a ton. There goes Neo continuing down. And then we also have, again, like I said, maybe the price target on SPRT is up to that $11 price point. Ranting about Neo. Yeah, I mean Neo overall. I mean it's a pretty steady trend. Down. So overall, it does kind of seem bearish still. But like I was saying, Neo down at the price of $40 today is where we would most likely consider wanting to dip buy that stock today. Question is whether or not it can actually reach $40 today or not. So in no play, oh wait, no, I have one play on. The one play is that short on PVG, which is still very small, which starting to retrace down. One play we will be watching is long on Neo if in the event it goes towards $40. Right now it's doing a little, well, I want to say a little, but it is bouncing right now off a half deviation price, which is kind of pointless if you ask me, but anyways. Check SENS. That doesn't even what is it? It's not SENS, it's the what is it? SNES? Also TIRX is on the scanner. Yeah, I don't even know what that ticker was from earlier. I wrote it down. It doesn't, but it doesn't seem like that's it. That doesn't make any sense. SESN, that's what it is. SESN. Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, this has made its pop. It's made a move. It's just currently pulling back. So there's really not much to do with this for right now. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, people. Let's see what this TIRX is about. That's an interesting move. Kind of. Interesting volume, too. Oh my gosh, Thinkorswim, get it together. So easy, just work. All right, so it looks like Neo's doing a short-term little bottom in today's market. ACY was a runner. Yeah, SESN or SESN. It does have room to run, obviously, but doesn't mean that it's going to be a fluent mover for the day. But nonetheless, pretty much just kind of watching, sitting back watching this. If SCSN is going to pop, this is definitely a spot where it could do it at. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect Neo to have such a good bounce there. Kind of a random spot. What you're watching right now on SESN is ideally you want it to stay above this previous kind of bottom. If not, people are gonna stop out and it's gonna go into a harsh candle. To the downside, that is. Yeah, so there's that kind of, well, move below those previous dips there. So again, people stopping out on that move currently. Again, not a ton of crazy momentum today. Oh yeah, we're definitely staying around the 399 400 mark. Yeah, they don't let the stream go higher than that these days, unfortunately. But maybe one day, maybe after we stream for 5 months, they'll eventually allow us to go up more than 400 users on our stream at one time. CODX made the move I was thinking it can make. Let's go just peek at that. Yeah, CODX ended up moving long into those targets, which arguably could be leading to more of a breakout play, kind of. Yeah, CODX still moving decently strong. So with me on CODX, initially this morning I mentioned a long target on CODX into kind of this 11-12 price. We got there. I just am not as comfortable trying to buy it through that price currently. SESN holding a dip right now. Whether or not it's enough to kind of keep the stock up on the day, that's another question. We shall see. But nonetheless, it is kind of doing a little mini bounce move there. Months, but winter months, anywhere from October to December, October to March is penny stock season. I mean, yeah, I could take a poll on YouTube. Are you saying like, well, yeah, I could do some sort of poll on YouTube for sure. I don't know how well it would help, but yeah, we could do it. Might as well, right? Somebody yesterday said they tried to share my stream to Facebook and they like got kicked off Facebook or something, or like Facebook deleted their post a couple times or something like that. Something weird. SESN moving pretty well. If it can start getting through those previous candles around like 5 something, this is where it's going to start spiking a little more. If it can start getting up through like 557, this should start to spike. Give me 1 second, guys. I got a phone call coming in here. Sorry about that. All right, back on here. Do I think Neo has a bounce, or do you see it continuing down? 1 second. You said, which stock was it? BOXL. And I'll take a look at BOXL here in just a sec. Yeah, there's our friend SESN trying to kind of pop some more, maybe keep moving a little bit. It was, what were we looking at? We were looking at BOXL. So yeah, there's probably a little bounce, but I don't think it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, if it's supposed to bounce, it's probably going to bounce about where it's at. Let me just double check a couple more things. Yeah, if it's going to bounce, I think it bounces back up to maybe a price of like 232-ish. Yeah, I would only expect to bounce maybe up to about 230-ish max on this sort of move. And first, it's got to get through 228. Resistance is at 228 and 232. So if you can clear 228, you should pop up to about 232 there. All right, so there's BOXL bouncing, just slightly crossed through that, whatever it's called, 238 mark. Moved it to, like we're saying, probably up to 232. Appreciate that, Melky. Where's the link for the scanner you're using? The free, not the free. The only scanners I use are the ones that are provided free on YouTube. So there is a link that the Nightbot's sending through that says use these scans, or if you go to the description of this video, there is a link that'll take you to scanners. But those are the ones I use, the ones that are for free on YouTube all day. Yep, SESN is holding well. I believe that stock is going to be higher by next week. So I think overall you're probably fine being long bias of stock in general right now. Oh man. Silly question here, but when a stock clears a certain resistance, does it have to cross a certain price range for a certain time period? Or no, not really. Parker, no, I've been trading today. Yes, I have. Neo is stumbling on the VWAP. 1 second, guys. Another phone call coming in. Okay, sorry about that. I am now back on again. Debatable whether or not CODX will continue running. What a little shitbag. Beautiful moves on SESN. Now, I guess it's probably a good time to maybe suggest price targets on SESN. So give me a second here. All right, so SCSN moving pretty well. I think you're going to see price targets of SCSN up to $6.30. I think. Just double check. Yeah, I mean, at this point, wait, hold on. Let me just double check all my time frames. So right now, SCSN is probably going to go up to the price of $580, $581. That's a very logical price point. Aside from that, I think, yeah, the max target for me today on SCSN is going to be 645 to 625 area. So again, max target SCSN on the day, 625, 630s. Your car warranty is expiring. Figures. Yeah, right, Parker? That's probably the case. Do you buy a bull flag underneath the brake or on the brake? So you can buy a bull flag wherever you want to buy a bull flag. That's entirely up to you. Most of the books you read will teach you to buy the breakout, which really isn't the best because if you know that it's going to break out, you would just buy the dip. So buying the breakout really comes down to the idea that you're not sure that it's actually going to break out. So that's normally why you see so many videos about breakout trading as opposed to dip buy trading. Because it's really easy to identify where a breakout level would be, and then obviously if and when it breaks out, it's easy to identify. So that being said, that's really why you see most stuff on the internet about breakout trading, most videos regarding breakout trading, and people saying why they're breakout traders is because more or less most people have a harder time trying to figure out where the dip's going to be and how to dip buy as opposed to breakout trading. So nonetheless, it's actually better to buy the dip as opposed to the breakout, but it's hard to buy the dip because most people don't know where their dip's going to be and then where it's going to stop. And then they don't feel comfortable buying the dip and trying to hold the dip all the way until the stock gets back to the previous high, trying to break out of the pattern because they just don't have the confidence to sit in the position. So that's really the whole nutshell trading industry there. So it's better to buy the dip than it is to buy the breakout, in short. I appreciate you 356 tuning in with us. It's kind of crazy because you think about it. I have like 170,000 followers. So even if 10% of those people tuned in, we'd have 1.7 thousand people watching. So right now we're only at like maybe 1%, 1.2% of our following actually watching our live stream, which I find that hard to believe, but you know. Wayne Hudson, what up, my dude? Dip buy into BA. We will take a look at BA. There is the price target of 580 on SCSN. Well, 578, but nonetheless. They're not morning people, right? BA going down. Probably gonna want to stay bearish on that, I think. I don't know, but I will look. BA. I don't really have much support for that. Yeah, I don't really have a support level that I could go off of very easily on this. Yeah, I think the move's still bearish on BA. I don't care for a dip buy on BA. I don't really have much support there. Yeah, I honestly think from what I've seen in the past, the average like viewership on someone's stream is usually about 10% of their following, and like most of their videos views will get about 10% of their following in views. We get like 1% of that, maybe 1.5% of that, as opposed to most channels will get a viewership of about 10. So you know, is what it is. So anyways, SCSN still working well, still looking good. I think you stay on the long side of that. I just can't really see you being bearish on that for the time being. My dad's crypto account is up to $220,000 today. That's what he just texted me. Crypto up 220 today. Hold on, we're going for a hell of a ride. Hell yeah, Daddy. Just make sure that shit's still in my inheritance when I grow old. All right, and you got yourself a deal, kiddo. Hell yeah, Dad. Sounds like you got the next round of golf and beer. Hell yeah, Dad, get it poppin'. So he bought crypto back when he bought crypto back in basically the bottom of the bottom. He bought it when it was like 7,000 after its first crash. And then he just deposited more money into this dip. So he's been holding for a long time so far. So he's pretty comfortable holding and so on. ABCL flying today. So there is, remember what I was saying about the 580 target? So there's your 580 target on SESS. God, it's such a challenging ticker to say. SESN. I don't think this is going to hold as a big resistance, but it might give us a little bit of a choppy, turdish moment, you know? All right, let's go on over and let's just look at AMC. Let's see how our apes are doing today. The apes are sideways today. They're sitting sideways like Paul Wall. So for the time being, there isn't really a whole lot to do with AMC. Basically, at this point, you're just waiting for either the bulls to take back control of the market or the bears to finally swing this down to 25, and then we get long off 25. There goes you can see right now 580 SESN is starting to see some rejection candles a little bit. AMD is breaking up. You know, I thought about getting in contact with YouTube, but what's the point? Like, really, what is the point? They'll probably just give me the runaround. I mean, really, the only thing I can do is contact YouTube and like literally ask them, you know, like, what is everything that I have to do? You know, like, what are the 100% correct steps that I would need to take to make sure that my channel is getting the best possible exposure every single day? And then if I do all of that and then it still happens, right, you know, at that point, we obviously would have our answer. So that's maybe what I'll do, is just try and contact them and play Mr. Nice Guy and just be like, hey, you know, I just really am having some concerns lately that I'm just not doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing in regards to YouTube, and it's sort of hindering my growth. Is there something that I am doing that's incorrect, that I should be doing better? And really just play it off like I am just a little bitch. All right, so SESN moving well. As mentioned, I really do think the targets are going to be trying to get up into the sixes. I will probably end up, if it's shortable, I will end up doing a short position there on the day. It's easy to borrow. No wonder why this thing's probably going up so easy. Bunch of people are probably over here trying to short this thing. So yeah. We're going to stay on the long side of this guy. So it looks like Hood made a quick pop on the day, ended up reverting back down. So started with a good move, results in having kind of a downside move. AMD released some news at about 10:12. Hearing AMD Micro Devices mentioned as a new swing long from Investors Business Daily. Okay, so that didn't come from them, it just came from Investor Business Daily. All right, so remember today's analysis from earlier on the market. We're like, yeah, I'm kind of more bearish on the market. Now, in the event I'm wrong, ideally we want to come up and break through that dotted line, which I said was at a price of 108. at the time, but now it's like 108.40 or something. But nonetheless, AMD took more of the long side. So for me, this is where, if I was paying attention to it, this is probably where I would have taken my long, kind of on this move, breaking up through that red line. Now the market's overbought. It should start to pull back a little bit here, unless this is extremely, extremely, extremely strong. Typically, it would pull back. So in the event AMD doesn't really pull back very harsh here, that tells us AMD is significantly stronger today. So let me just do a couple things. I mean, it's definitely on a strong day. Definitely a long day, but you did get to an intraday level on intraday price today where typically it would pull back. Nonetheless, it's holding well so far. SESN still working really well there. Yeah, exactly. Good call on MU, whoever that was. Oh, that's right. I did want to take a long play on MU, so I'm going to do that. By the way, everyone, I'm buying some MU. If you'd like to join. Don't over leverage your account if you do. It's a swing trade. It could be wrong. MU. Oh, that's not MU. Totally forgot about that one today. You can see it just stopped at the half candle retrace level. So ideally buying MU because it's all the way down, trading at -2 deviations at this point. So I figured it's a bounce level. We'll see. Could be wrong, could be right. At the end of the day, not too big of a deal. But yeah, that's the reason. You can see market sold all the way down to this green line. So not in at the absolute low, but still in on, a good spot. We have yet. Candles haven't broken above previous top candles, so there isn't really a breakout in this bottom. It's still in the bottoming formation. So hopefully we can get this back up, do a gap fill of a couple dollars a share. That would be splendid. Yikes, look like Robinhood is getting smacked all the way back down today. Sort of. Nice. Yes, feel free. Join me. Join me for MU. Join me. I mean, I could try it. I could try being... Well, no, I mean, I mean, there's nothing better than the current sitting president. Absolutely. I mean, the measures that they are taking to keep everyone safe is just really good job. I mean, I am just so proud of the current administration. So proud. Couldn't have done it any better. No one else could have done it any better. No way. But no, in reality, yeah, you're probably right. If I changed my demeanor to ass-kissing, it probably would work. But that is the concept of the fall in line, right? I just threw up. Warrior Trading stopped live streaming, so I'm here now. Awesome, appreciate it. Yeah, we definitely take a different approach than Warrior Trading, that's for sure. So, the things that you've learned over there are probably going to be significantly different than the things that you're probably going to see and learn over here. But combining the two should definitely lead you to some good trading, good analysis of the market. The almighty YouTube, I love you. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt my family. Make sure we make lots of money so I can take care of my puppies and I can eat good yummies. Please, please. So yeah, really the only thing I'm still watching and working on is SESN. Like I said, I think it's going to get up to 6 today. I really hope so. That would be cool. So that's kind of what we're itching for, fam. I tried to watch that, but I didn't get very far on trading tickers or whatever that was from Tim Grattini. No. No problem. No problem. You looking at Wish dip. When will I exit SESN? So again, I think SESN is going to go up to $6. So I don't really see a big need to sell the stock heavily until the price gets there. I think this is really where the bigger selling zone is on SESN today. So I don't really plan to sell until we get into this kind of 6 zone. That could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. It could not happen at all. But for me, I really just don't project tons of sellers until that level. Right now, the market is respecting resistance at the half deviation price. This is something we mentioned that could very well act as a resistance point, the half deviation mark. So that's what we're getting right now. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, it just is what it is. You can't control everything that happens in the market. But from when this market was down here and it started to break up, there wasn't a true trending strong resistance until this dotted line. So if you were long SESN this morning running the same sort of system and it was breaking out and it was going over these highs, you yourself would have picked a minimum target of about 680. I'm going for a target of 6, right? So we still got another 680, 620. So we still got another 40, 50 cents to go, in my opinion. So this would be a good time to liquidate your bank account, throw it all on black, and let it rip, Tater Chip. And if you get divorced, this is not financial advice. It's purely entertainment purposes only. Cage match with Tim Sykes, please. Do you ever trade stocks under $1? No, not really. They just don't move enough. They move, like they can still move 100 and 200% or whatever. It's just like the range, and so I just typically don't know. Half deviation price of the stock. The half deviation price is at 580, or of the stock SESN. Why don't we ever see the pup? The pup will make an appearance because I just got a lot of cords in here, and he's a very active dog and likes to bite things. So it's just really not a great environment to house the old puppuccino, or to keep him in. Thanks. I can't see your screen. I don't know why you can't see my screen, but it's there. So same thing it is typically. So I don't know. That's kind of odd, but. What's my opinion on Tim Sykes? I really have no opinion of him. I really don't think much about other people. I don't. Unless they're my family and friends, and I could really care less. Is target 7464 in MU? I'm using standard deviation on TradingView. Target for MU right now is on the upside, 72.96 to Yeah, 72.96 would probably be the first easiest obtainable resistance target, but overall it's probably just more or less a gap fill move that we're going for, and if we were extremely lucky, then we would get back up to 77.80. So right now, like in the current market structure, 77.80 would be the max target for a reversal bounce long on this bottom. The first target would really just be up to 72. If you go to 70 or 73, so 73 is really the target up on this bounce. You would want to do the gap fill, but the gap fill can only happen if you cross through 73. So again, just like you were seeing on SESN here, having resistance at the half deviation mark, it's possible that MU bounces up to 73, which is where a half deviation price is located, and it stops and has resistance there and doesn't go higher. So for right now, an MU only really targeting back up to 73, waiting for it to get around that area, and if I come to the conclusion we can still go higher, then I would maintain a position. Oh, wow, I totally forgot I still had that short position on PVG. I just looked. Well, I guess that's working in my favor. That's cool. Yeah, I totally forgot about that, guys. But the price target PVG's at right now is what I was trying to get to on that short play. Remember, I was saying 950s, 940s, or whatever, so it took us a while. We just got there. Could very well go lower, but that was the price projection on the down move, so I am going to cover that one. Yeah, it does include how to use standard deviation in the course. There's going to be a lot more added to it. I'm not adding stuff right now because I'm in the process of building our coaching service and some of our websites. So really, it's probably in the next month. I was planning on hammering some of that out. But yeah, that's one of the spots in the course that really needs to be updated because I've kind of changed my approach a little bit with using standard deviation as opposed to the way I used it when I was first using it. So things have changed just a little bit, yes. AJS channel. Thank you. Yeah, most people do, and I used to. I used to charge, and I, made a lot of money, running a, private stock trading chat room. Did it for many years, and I guess I'm just evolving and changing, and not really caring to run that service like that anymore. I have more fun doing this, providing it free and live, and being on YouTube is honestly just more fun than running your own private one. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Or wait, what was I saying? Yeah, at the end of the day, I really enjoy doing this. But yeah, I used to do that too. So it's not like I didn't. I used to. How do you predict price by previous high and lows? I have no idea. I don't, so I'm not quite sure, to be honest. All right, let's go back and take a look at SCSN. I'm not quite sure exactly where it's at or if it pulled back or what it's doing entirely. So popped up to 594. Not bad. Again, like I said, I wanted to see it up to 6. Hopefully we're lucky enough to get a $6 move. I hope it doesn't stop at the half deviation. Sometimes they do that, and it's really annoying, and it's kind of just like, eh. So hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully SCSN does what it should do and give us that 640, 620, 630-ish area today. Yeah, I mean, I plan on being here every single day on YouTube for at least 3 hours. And as we keep doing this, it's going to keep evolving. Guests will eventually be on, so things will change. as the days progress. And like I said, all we ask is you guys hit the thumbs up button to help support the channel. You know, it's supposed to help grow the channel. So far, it really hasn't done us any good. So I'm not sure how many likes you're supposed to get on a video for the algorithm to say, yeah, people like this. I don't know that. We've tried it. So all we ask for your support, hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, sharing the stream to other like-minded individuals who would like to know more about investing. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, SCSN still sitting at the half deviation price. Really not too much more to discuss there. That's about it. That's about it. I've only been trading for 6 months, and your channel has exploded my trading game. If that is entirely true, that is the exact reason why they don't want our stream numbers going up. Does that make sense? Again, if you're really killing the game and understanding where and how stocks are moving, then they or the theys most likely wouldn't want you knowing that. If there was a stream that was teaching you the complete ass-backwards way of looking at the market, that stream would get more attention because that stream is obviously teaching traders incorrectly, which would make more money for the market makers and the system. Like, for example, these are the winning lottery ticket numbers. Here are the potential winning lottery ticket numbers. This stream would get more than this one because, well, they couldn't give out the actual winning lottery ticket numbers, right? So they would run a stream that says potential winning lottery ticket numbers. Just like the thing you saw, I don't know if you guys watch Trade Trades, but his YouTube channel, if you watch Trade Trades, raises a, or not Trade Trades, some other guy, but he was talking about Trey Matt, but raises a very, very valid point, and that is the YouTube algorithm works off of likes, subscribes, notifications, comments, things like that, engagement from users, right? So the more that you are engaged, which, by the way, look at the sell-off on SESN happening right at about the half deviation price. It went above it. Yes, it actually hit the intraday 1 dev and came down, but nonetheless, you could see we got up into that dotted line and the markets ended up gathering some weakness there. So anyways, I was watching this channel the other day, but they raise a very valid point that if YouTube and the algorithm and popularity and people seeing your video has to actually do with user engagement, likes, comments, things like that, then there's absolutely no reason as to why CNBC and Fox News would be the first channels that you see when you search up AMC. It should be Matt Kors and Trade Trades and all of the YouTubers that have the most engagement. So right there is, I mean, it's clear as day that that is manipulation within the system to put a mainstream media outlet as first, because of, well, simply their mainstream media. It's the same concept like, for example, the president. In reality, the president is a human being, the same as you and me, and realistically, he doesn't actually deserve any more respect than me or you on a day-to-day basis. He should be treated equal of that as his peers, or people he is supposedly governing. So it's the same thing when it comes to Fox News, and again, if the algorithm is there based on engagement, then there's absolutely no reason as to why a mainstream media outlet with less engagement is getting ranked above those with more engagement. That is unfair treatment, is theoretically what it is. It's actually the exact opposite of fairness, equality, and equity, ironically. Figures. So nonetheless, here we are. We're just YouTubing it out and having a good old dandy time. It really doesn't matter what I change the title to. It's never going to get more viewers. It never does. Like I said, my channel, YouTube has me set at a set amount of viewers that it probably allows my channel to get. based on our streams. I mean, if I hit a viral video, then yeah, I'm sure that video will go viral. But just in a generic, the algorithm really keeps my channel at a specific amount of views. And what I mean by that is if I post one video, it gets 3,000-4,000 views. If I post 3 videos, they all get 1,000 views to accumulate to 3,000. This stream, we've done this stream for 2 weeks now, and magically the numbers never really get over 3,700 to like 4,000 people that view the stream. So I don't know how long it would take to really get those numbers higher. And I hate that I always bring this up every day, but it's you know, it's something that I'm battling, you know, so it's hard, you know. I come on here every day, I put in so much effort, I do everything YouTube asks, and then they just keep me flat, you know. When I know that a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about is significantly beneficial to every typical everyday individual investor, right? There's nothing here that's bad for you to learn. There's nothing here that's going to hurt you. The only thing you're going to get from this channel is education, a fun time, and friends, right? And there's really nothing bad about the channel, so don't know. I'm not going to spend ad dollars to see if my views increase. There's really no need to even do that. No, I'm not going to do the whole pay-to-play thing. Absolutely not. Oh, yeah, for sure. They definitely probably pay YouTube for the exposure. I mean, that's a guarantee. No doubt. So maybe one day we'll have a platform aside from this, but have a good-looking girl. You know, and that's the other thing too. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's all good. I'm having a good time. Yeah, Don. So our Elites trading program does show entry exits. That's options mentoring and you know, stock mentoring. So a couple weekly classes and live trading rooms. Yep. Eventually, it's going to grow to more. Not that specifically, but eventually the company's going to grow to offering a lot more services in the future. And that's currently what we're building out. I'm building my coaching service. Dave is putting his coaching service on there. So a couple more services and products and offering. So like that's really what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of building of the business too at this point. So SESN going through a dip. Ideally, you know, what's going to happen is the market's going to have to bounce SESN back up to that dotted white line. You see that dotted white line? That's most likely where the market's trying to take SESN back up to. And then if we can cross through the dotted white line, then the bulls will take back control of the intraday market. So until the bulls get back over the price of 581, which is the dotted white line, the bulls have not yet taken back control of the market on an intraday perspective. So when looking at a 1 minute, 5 minute, you know, 10 minute, we got to get back over 580 on the day, and then bulls will take back immediate control of the current market structure. Yeah, so yeah, we ain't changing, baby. We're not changing. We are voting for Kevin, meet Kevin Paffrath. That's what we're doing. That's the kind of people we want. That's the kind of people we want to be. Well, not specifically Kevin. Yeah, no, I don't really want to be Kevin. Absolutely not. Definitely not. But the mentality and the attitude that he has and his straightforward thinking, that's what you want. I really wish I could vote in California. I mean, actually, I probably can. If they just send me a mail-in ballot, I'm sure I can figure it out. I'll probably be dead next week. Yeah, so if they send out mail-in ballots, I'm sure I'll probably be able to vote in California. That makes sense. Or no, probably not. What was the entry for SENS? So we discussed today that your entry for SENS was taking back control of the 531 price, I think. I got to double check. I'm not entirely sure. But I think you had to take control of the 531 price. Yeah, about 520, 530, you can see we have this trend here. So we have the +1 deviation mark trend on SESN at 530, 520. So it was really about taking control and shifting through that trend. So it was down there. Peep Adam Gu. Yeah, that is a really great idea. We should do that. We should do like a nightly stream, organize it a month out, blast about a 6 trillion emails, go down the street, talk to my neighbor Kip, see if he can make it out for the night. Tell him to bring the family, tell him to bring the kids, make sure grandma's in town. Tell her to bring some of that green bean casserole she made last time, and let's get a ripper and roaring. So yeah, no, I think that's a genius idea. I think you should probably be my YouTube agent at this point, considering how smart that was. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do, folks. We are going to organize one night where we do a stream, and we are going to blast it, and we're going to make it very wildly known. And then you're right. I think we will have our proof right there. I think you're right. So Maria, we're going to start most of our coaching at $99, and the reason being is because some people will pay $99. So really what I'm doing right now is being 100% honest with the pricing structure, why you do the pricing this way. Not that you have to do 99, not that you're going to do 80, now you can do 150, but so you guys know. So in business, you never want to start too low because then it's harder to go higher, right? So you always want to start higher. And then you want to find where your customer base is comfortable spending. It's like literally the law of economics, right? There's a supply, there's a demand, and what a consumer is willing to pay versus what a supplier is willing to charge. Eventually, there's going to be a happy medium that is met, and so that's what you have to do. Generally, businesses will start with a higher tiered price and then work the price down until they find the happy medium of customer retention and so on and so forth. So we're starting at 100. If in the event that is a comfortable price people are willing to pay, then we're not going to change it. And then the other benefit to that is at a $99 price point, you still give yourself a lot of wiggle room on sales that you can run to incentivize people who don't want to spend $99 to join into the service. So it does have to do with marketing and business as to why you would start that way and do it. But in a nutshell, yes, when I decided to open up a coaching service along with my other buddy that's going to do it, I said $99. And I'm thinking about my time. I'm going to spend an hour with someone here, or I could spend 3 hours here. The 3 hours here will make X amount of money, which could also drive money here. So I have to justify the time. But again, you start it higher and then you find out where your customer base is comfortable being at, and then that will find you into a safer number if adjustments have to be made. And then it also gives you room to negotiate your price during sale periods. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Business 101. Yes. Nope, not planning on creating any Patreon channel. Can't forget the green bean casserole. What do I think of GLD? Yeah, let's take a quick peek here. By the way, MU is selling down from original entry, so that means that trade's definitely, or investment so far, is definitely red, which is fine. What you gonna do? Not much. Well, should sell off, but all right. So GLD is up. So the low risk dip buy. So pretty much what we're doing. So for example, what we're doing on MU is the same thing that happened with GLD, right? So you can see how GLD sold down, bounced, rolled over, sold down, bounced, right? So this came down, bounced, rolled over, maybe bouncing. Same thing. If you look at the 4-hour chart, you can see there's a +1 deviation. If you go to the daily chart, 1 second, you will see that, well, not anymore, but it would, before it was perfect, but anyways, it came right down into +1 deviation support. So this is an example where MU has essentially sold all the way off down into -2 deviation support. So it's a matter of whether or not this is going to be strong enough to support this level or not. But the concept of what happened with GLD is kind of what we're doing here. So with GLD went to oversold. It's bounced back up over the statistical mean. So for the time being, the easily obtainable long move has already happened. Right now, I would only go for a max target of up to 167.48 in the current market structure on GLD. Stock Market Trade Craft is the book, and then the other book is Chartered Market Technician. It's a 600-page exam book. There's 3 of them. McNeo, huh? A little bit of Neo. Oh yeah, Neo selling down. Okay, so. We are on the move down. That's cool. After a pretty wicked bounce, huh? Yeah, so that's just like, really? 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 Yeah, looks like Neo probably going to continue getting weakness on the downside, I would imagine. Like I said, I don't really care to buy Neo until it gets down to the $40 price point. So, like I said, we could probably watch Neo down to that point overall. We'll see. I would love to see it get there. 40.49 will be the bottom. For Neo, 40.49. Alrighty, we'll see about that. How's our friend SESN doing though? I mean, it went up, it's still holding down. Hmm. 40.50 is the bottom. I don't have a stop on MU currently. No stop is available for MU at the time. Stop is going to be -3 for deviations. MU. Not bad. Yeah, so like I said, SESN, you can see, remember how I said it was probably going to bounce back to the white dotted line, and until it takes back control of the white dotted line, the bulls don't have control of the market. So again, market breaks down, white dotted line, goes back to retest white dotted line, resistance back down. So this is more or less, you know, kind of the time where traders need to get this market back up and over that 582 mark. Come on, Neo. Just fall through the floor. Oh, boy. Oh, tired. Matt, so yeah, it does come down to deviation levels a lot of times where my stop's going to be, but always the best way that I can explain a stop loss is it's not about stopping the loss, it's about taking a trade-off when you don't think the momentum or the market's favoring you anymore. So however or wherever that price is determined is what I use. It could be a deviation price, it could just be a charting formation, whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, generally speaking, stop losses for me are just based on when the market is no longer favoring the investment that I'm trying to make. VPA. I don't even know what VPA stands for, so unless it's an abbreviation I'm not aware of, or I do know it, I just don't know it by the abbreviation. Never hear you talk about volume. You're right. I don't talk about volume as much because I just don't. It's very important, yes, but volume is very, very important. The reason I don't talk about it as much is because, for example, if $40 is in fact a great buy point, then the volume is going to lead to a buy when it gets there in the first place. Right? So again, if $40 is the buy point for the day, then that means people are going to buy it at 40. So when it gets to 40 and people buy it, the volume should spike and it should break this one. It should be all green. The volume should be pointing towards a buy. So the reason I don't talk much about volume right here is because most of the times when I'm talking about these levels, we just know that, yes, there should be selling here. Yes, there should be buying here. And the volume is probably going to pick up. So just in a nutshell, not using volume as much to determine entries and exits as I am as using the trend system to figure out entries and exits. So that's what I mean is if I'm like, this is a good sell point, then the volume should start increasing on the sell side. We should have seller beat volume candles as opposed to buyer beat volume candles and so on. But I definitely have a couple videos out there regarding volume, how you're supposed to use it, and so on and so forth. I just use daily chart and half-year charts for standard deviation. The 2 time frames you're looking at on not on this chart, but 2 time frames, 1 year, 1 day, 180-day, 4-hour chart. Volume price analysis. Gotcha. Yeah, volume price analysis. So, yeah, you're basically looking at volume and price and trying to make a judgment on which way the stock's going to move. And generally speaking, volume price analysis all comes down to looking at volume, figuring out if there's buyer beats or seller beats over previous green candles, and that's pretty much all there really is to it. BOXL. We'll see about it. It would have been very surprising if it came back. Is spiking though. Yeah, that's got a lot of work to do. I'm not willing to trade that bounce up into 250 to 255. Just don't trust it enough. But if it does end up happening, awesome. Well, there really wasn't a lot of sellers there. There was pretty much no one. It really, really thinned out. Yeah, I think you could maybe watch BOXL on the long side trying to get back into the 250s maybe, but bigger breakout for BOXL is only going to happen through 255. So again, I'm pretty much just only watching BOXL if in the event it can get through 255-ish on the long side. Well, you know what, folks? I think I'm going to call it there for the day, Friday. Really quickly before I go, I want to look at pins. I know someone just said something. Pins continuing down. So this was a part of the analysis from like last week that, yes, maybe in fact this does continue lower. So pins should go lower. You probably are going to make money if you take a bearish bet on the pins. So we're just waiting for pins to keep going lower, and then we'll look at a dip by here in probably the next week or so. So anyways, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it here for the day. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Other than that, I'll see you guys back on Monday morning. But like I said, we will schedule a stream on one night here, and we'll organize it. We'll announce it for a couple weeks straight, and then we'll have the stream at one point, one day, and see what the numbers come up to. And then I guess that's one way of telling. So anyways, guys, I'll catch you back on Monday morning. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Okay.